Hey guys, I'm going to show you today how to take the recoil cover off of a Husqvarna 240 chainsaw. The reason I'm going to do this is point out a couple things, but show you how easy it is, but also the reason for this is not my saw. This is a neighbor's. He gave me a call today and said he bought it last year and used it 2 times last year, and the thing didn't sound right when he was using it, and he shut it off, and he doesn't use them much, so he just put it back in the garage and went to get it out today. We had a rather large windstorm come through last night, and he wanted to cut up a branch that had fallen from a neighbor's yard into his yard, and he just was like, nope, not doing anything. And the issue was you couldn't even pull the thing out. It wouldn't even pull this little bit. It was just there. So kind of led me to, when he gave me a call and asked me to stopped over, checked it out. I thought, he said it made a little rattling noise, and claims he used the premix, or not the premix, but the oil that came with it, and mixed that with gas, the proper dilution. And so I thought, okay, well, maybe something went wrong, and some of that stuff sits around too long and might have got, I just don't know what all happens with these Husqvarna. So I said, well, I'll take care of it, or I'll take a look at it. I deal with a few small engine things, but try to teach myself pretty much anything I need to know. And so I thought, well, earlier I took it all apart and pulled the spark plug, sprayed some WD-40 in there just to loosen it up a little, not too much. Didn't want to get carried away, but maybe thinking it was seized up, and I'd let it sit, but I'd kind of dump it out to make sure I didn't have much in the cylinder before I put it back together and tried it. And that must have jarred this little screw, and this is a screw that goes to this chainsaw, but as far as I've dug in, I can't find where it goes, so I think it was an extra, and their quality control just never caught it. So this was just sitting just in the right place to keep from being able to pull it, and I'm going to show you where, but it's pretty easy to get into these. I still like my steel, but I only have a little 170 steel, but it still does quite a bit for what I need it to do. There's going to be 4 screws, and you can either use a flathead. If you still have your wrench, these aren't actually the ones that go with this one, but these are from a couple others. I think this might be from my steel, and I don't know where this one is, but you can either use one of the wrenches if it has a flathead on it, and get these, or use a Torx 25 bit. But there's going to be 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I started off by taking these off after I checked to make sure the cylinder was not seized up, and just thought, well, let's see what else goes on. Somebody had said that they have issues with the starting system if it's not broken right. I didn't know if that was this model or not, and so I thought, well, tear into it without getting too carried away and look at it. So you literally take these, you'll probably have to use a screwdriver to get this one, unless you force the handle enough or have a longer extension. But you just take that off, and everything's right here. It's all nice. As you can see, it spins nice and easy, and some of you might say, well, you shouldn't be doing that because it could build compression and snap my finger, or take a chunk out of my finger. But what I found earlier when I took the cover off, was this little screw. And as you can see, it matches this screw here and a couple other ones. So I thought, well, kind of tore a little more into it earlier and looked to make sure I wasn't missing anything before I fired it up and actually had a catastrophic loss. But this screw was sitting right in about here, and it must have just fit perfect, actually. And now I'm going to lose it a little more, and I'm happy it didn't fall too deep in. Let's see. I don't have my magnet with me there. So this screw was sitting right in about here, and it must have got caught just right because it was sitting right there. So every time I pull on it, it wouldn't move. Well, as you can see, it was sitting right there, and I'm glad I didn't force it. You know, I didn't want to rip the cord off, that's why I didn't force it. I didn't even think about a screw being laying in there, but take that off right out of the way there, and I mean, that was pretty easy to notice, but I would suggest using a flashlight, you know, to make sure there's nothing else hindering anything. But as soon as I took that out, I was like, are you serious? Like, quality control must have been off that day when this one was put together. So everything turns over fine. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back on, but if for any reason you had to get in there, and I cleaned it up a little earlier. I mean, it's a good time to clean things up, and it's a good idea no matter what, as easy as that is to take off, just to make sure everything's clean in here. But don't use anything too crazy. I mean, if you use brake cleaner or something like that, it might not look like so much of a new saw anymore. So then, I still haven't figured everything out on these saws, but I've learned a good amount on it. Actually, I think I can get this back in, so putting it back in there. So again, there's 4 Torx screws, and there were 225s. And make sure you don't over tighten them. A lot of plastic on these things these days. And you don't want to make more issues, stick anything out. So that's all pretty good. So that was a pretty simple fix today. I fired it up a little earlier and made sure everything was good. But yeah, here I'll demonstrate. As you can see, it just, I mean, it pulls out now, where that other time I couldn't get it to come out even this much. So, and that was why I wasn't sure if it was a seized up motor, but I thought for as new as it was, we're gonna take a chance with it and maybe try to loosen up that cylinder, but that wasn't even necessary. So again, it seems like a pretty decent unit. I haven't had a chance to cut with it, and I'll try it out tomorrow. But I know some people don't like they are surprised by the oilers. I was always told, you know, 1 tank of gas per 1 tank of oil on my steel, and I don't know what Husqvarna says, but everybody says with a lot of their Husqvarnas, they take half a thing of chain oil for or a full tank of fuel. So again, this is the Husqvarna 240. It looks like it has the X torque feature on it. I know that's one of their, supposed to be more power, or claimed to more power or whatever, but again, it's simple, pretty simple. That one was, thank goodness. But so, all right, well, thank you for watching. Again, we always appreciate the followers. Have a good night.